Ottawa Soccer Club is kicking our soccer instruction up a notch this year in our U8 and U10 divisions by implementing U.S. Soccer's Build Out Line. The Build Out Line concept, first implemented in 2017, has seen some changes and club-specific tweaks in its short lifetime. So please take this presentation as the authority on how OSC will use this useful tool beginning spring 2024. First, we'll get you up to speed on just what this line is all about and why OSC is choosing to adopt it. Next, we'll teach you how the league intends to play the line. Then, we'll talk about how referees will help players when things go wrong. And finally, we'll give you all sorts of opportunities to dive deeper into this new method of play. So, what in the world is the Build Out Line? It's a player development initiative from U.S. Soccer, but, most simply, it's just a line. You'll find it between the top of the penalty area and the midfield line on our U8 and U10 fields. Why is OSC adopting the Build Out Line? We've all likely seen a punt and scramble type of play at lower levels of soccer. That is, an attacking player simply boots the ball down the field, and there's ensuing chaos as both teams fight for possession. U.S. Soccer wants to lead young players away from this strategy, or lack thereof, and teach them instead to build incrementally up the field, maintaining possession and growing in skill. The Build Out Line, the details of which we'll discuss in a moment, is a tool to help players learn these skills in a less pressured setting. Meanwhile, proper application also keeps the ball lower to the ground, diminishing the chances for headers and high kicks and increasing the safety of our players. Coaches are responsible for leading their teams in correct application of the Build Out Line, while referees can facilitate and assist with the implementation as needed. Our Director of Coaches, Director of Referees, and other board members are anxious to come alongside coaches and referees to make this new initiative work. Here's how we'll play. The Build Out Line will affect two areas of play at U8: goal kicks and goalkeeper possession. Additionally, at U10, where the offside rule applies, it will be affected. On a goal kick, opposing players must move behind the build-out line and remain there until the ball is in play, that is, until it has been kicked and clearly moves. At that point, normal play resumes, and opposing players may cross the build-out line. When the goalkeeper has possession of the ball in his hands, opposing players must move behind the build-out line and wait. Once the goalkeeper releases possession with their hands, the opposing team may cross the build-out line and resume normal play. Playing the build-out line has certain implications for how the goalkeeper plays. As we've said, the intent of the line is to discourage punt and scramble ball. In light of that, goalies are restricted from punting or drop-kicking the ball. They may, however, pass, throw, or roll the ball to teammates anywhere on the field. In either the case of a goal kick or goalie possession in the hands, the kicker or goalkeeper may choose to play the ball out prior to the other team moving behind the build-out line. In doing so, they accept the consequences of resuming normal play at that point. OSC doesn't play with the offside rule in our U8 division. However, at U10, the build-out line will slightly affect how offside is called. First, let's talk about offside in a nutshell. In standard play, there are two important conditions for being in an offside position. A player is in an offside position when any part of their body is in the other team's half and closer to the opponent's goal line than both, the second-to-last opponent, including the goalkeeper, and the ball. Keep in mind as we talk that it's never an offense to simply be in an offside position. So, in this first situation, is the orange attacker in an offside position? We can see that he's in his own half, not the other team's half, so he's not offside. We don't even need to consider the position of the defenders. A player can't be caught offside on his own half of the field. Now take this situation. The orange attacker is in an onside position because, though he's now in the other team's half, he's farther from the goal than the second-to-last defender. However, if he moves beyond that defender and is still beyond the ball, he's now in an offside position. Given another example, we can see that this attacker is in an onside position because, though he's in the other team's half and he's beyond the second-to-last defender, he's still behind the ball itself. Remember, it is never an offense to simply be in an offside position. However, a player is penalized for offside if they are in an offside position at the moment the ball is played by a teammate and then becomes involved in a play. You'll see this offense most often called when a player, who was in an offside position when his teammate last touched the ball, receives a pass. There are other reasons a player in an offside position will be called for an offside offense, but we won't go into the weeds of that now. That is, again, offside in a nutshell. How does the build-out line affect offside at U10? When the build-out line is implemented, offside is called with one critical difference made in the conditions. When the build-out line is in effect, a player is only in an offside position when any part of their body is beyond the build-out line closest to the attacking goal and closer to the opponent's goal line than both the second-to-last defender and the ball, as in the standard game. In short, they have this extra section of real estate between midfield and the build-out line in which they don't have to consider the position of the other team's defenders. This just gives attacking players more wiggle room as they try to play the ball out of the back. So, with our build-out line, let's look at this situation. Though the attacking player is nearer to the goal than the second-to-last defender and the ball, he's still behind the build-out line, which means he's in an onside position. Just as before, it's never an offense to be in an offside position. The build-out line just changes slightly what qualifies as an offside position to give the attacking team more room to work without fear of an offside offense. Particularly at the beginning of the season, coaches, referees, and players are going to be growing in consistent application of the build-out line. Coaches and referees will work together to encourage defending players to retreat behind the build-out line and remind goalies to keep to passing, throwing and rolling the ball back into play. In the case of infringement of the rules, certain restarts will be given. Let's say the goalkeeper loses his head and punts the ball downfield. In most cases, if the goalkeeper punts or drop kicks the ball, an indirect free kick will be awarded to the opposing team from the spot of the offense, that is, where he was when he punted or drop kicked it. However, if the punt or drop kick occurs within the goal area, the indirect free kick should be taken on the goal area line parallel to the goal line at the nearest point to where the infringement occurred. In simple English, the ref will just pull the ball out to the goal box line close to where the goalie punted or drop kicked the ball. Now, Let's say an overeager opposing player crosses the build-out line before the ball is in play. In that case, the referee will stop play and move defenders back behind the line. Coaches can help by encouraging their players to retreat in a timely way. If the encroachment occurred during a goal kick, the goal kick will be retaken. If the encroachment occurred when the keeper had possession of the ball in his hands, the referee will restart with the dropped ball to the keeper. The Ottawa Soccer Club board is committed to the development of recreational soccer players in our area, and that begins with providing training for coaches and referees. As we implement the Build Out Line initiative, we're working to provide everything the league needs to do it well. If you need help, particularly with how to use this player development tool to develop your players, contact our Director of Coaches. If you have a question or need clarification about the rules side of the Build Out Line, our Director of Referees will be glad to help. You can also check out these resources OSC has gathered on its website. Division-specific rules, quick guides, videos, and more. Meanwhile, the International Football Association Board has recently released a football rules website. Though it doesn't include information about the build-out line, it does have very clear and simple explanations of the laws of the game that govern soccer here and around the world. Thanks for taking the time to get on board with Ottawa Soccer Club and its implementation of the build-out line. We're thankful to coaches and parents who continue to help us build a strong foundation of recreational soccer in the area.